Hi, ladies. How you doing? How long have you been waiting for us? Yes, we're still filming, and we're talking about marketing and business, and we're talking about.
I guess this is our cue to wrap up.
All right, welcome to the Set Apart Podcast. I'm the host of the show, Oscar Morejon, and today we have Alex Barthet of the Lean Zone and the Barthet firm, and we are going to talk about business and marketing.
How you doing, Oscar?
You know, it's Friday. We're gonna go to dinner after this, and it's been a very long week.
For you and me both. For you and me both.
So we're thinking about different topics to go over for a podcast. You were one of the first guests of the show, and I thought we should talk about like legal stuff.
No,
It's
boring. It's very boring.
I don't know, but I think it would be good for somebody to have get some quick advice for if they want to renovate their business or they want to build something.
Yeah. So if that's what you want, go to the Lean Zone. You can listen to listen to everything you wanted to know about contracts, liens, bonds, collections. So when you asked me to come today, I said, you know what, there's more than enough information there. What I think is more interesting is what you and I do, which is run the business, find new clients, keep our name in front of people. So I thought that would be a more interesting topic than, which contract provision you should include.
Yeah, or what happens if ICE shows up to your job site?
That's actually my last
Reel
on TikTok.
So talk to me about that. How's the because you started a podcast. How long ago? You started a podcast before podcast was cool.
Yeah.
Why did you feel like you needed to do a podcast?
My marketing guy at the time said, "Hey, there's this thing called podcasts." I'm like, "Man, Vic, you do whatever. You do you, right? Whatever you want. Let's do it." And we've been doing it for, I don't know, maybe 8 years, 10 years.
What's kind of crazy is that, one is that you've been doing it for a long time. But what to me is the craziest, at least in your business, the Lean Zone and the Barthet firm, is the amount of things that you do to, get clients or retain clients, one of them being a podcast. So I think that's kind of what you were hinting at, the amount of things that we need to do to...
Yeah, to any business to get work, you have to be top of mind, right? If you think about the business, if you think about the people that you hire, there's people that you remember, but the reason you remember them is because they've sent you something. You saw a reel on Instagram about them. Something came in the mail. You got an email from them when you needed whatever it is you needed, right?
At the right time.
At the right time. So the fact that you send someone something and 4 months later is when they need you, they're never going to remember you.
So let's talk about, I kind of wanted to, when you talk about marketing and business, the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, where do we even start?
Yeah, so I think what works well for us, what has driven a lot of business for us, is the Google My Business page. When you type in, construction lawyer Miami or general contractor Coral Gables, right? It's going to give you a list of those businesses that are in that area, and then it's going to show you their reviews.
And how long have you been doing that for?
So everyone has one, right?
Yeah, but how long have you been intentionally trying to develop it? Or you don't really...
Many years, many years. Actively getting reviews, posting pictures.
Because it's crazy. We have like that Google, and we have the reviews. I think we have like 18 5-star reviews. We have a 5-star rating. But I don't think that anybody's going for, to hire a general contractor to build their, $20 million project.
No, for a $20 million project, I agree, right? But, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of lawyers that say, oh, no, I only get my work from referrals. Look, the reality is everyone types your name into Google before they hire you, right? So what are they going to see? And yes, I agree.
It's part of it.
It's part of it.
But just what I was saying is, where do we even start? And I feel like it starts at, obviously, the name.
Yeah, I guess the basics would be if you have Hotmail, Yahoo, or Gmail as your business email.
We're off to a bad start.
Yeah, You got to get a real domain. It's so easy these days that, that's kind of the minimum. And then I would say you got to get a website, and then you got to claim your Google business page so that people can leave reviews. So when someone types in your name, look, if you referred me to someone, if I came to you and I said, hey, I need a plumber, and you gave me the name of your plumber, I'm good. I trust you. This is the plumber you gave me. I'm fine. I don't need to do anything. But if I don't have a referral, what am I going to do? I'm going to type someone's name into Google, and I'm going to see what the reviews say, right? So you need to have good reviews. And the reason you want lots of reviews is because invariably you're going to get a bad review. And you can't get rid of bad reviews most of the time. Most of the time you're going to have to deal with that bad review. And the best way to do it is to have enough good reviews to make that bad review seem insignificant.
Okay. So we have a good domain, or having a domain is important. Right. How important do you think a website is nowadays?
To me it's a minimum. Like, you're gonna have a business card,
but like a good website. Do you think it's?
You need to have the basics. I mean, if you have no website, or even worse, website coming, right? Like, you've bought the domain, right? I mean, just put something up, right? A picture of.
So we have a website, because to me, when I think about marketing, and I keep going back to it, I feel like it starts with. Honestly, I think it starts with you. And I think the Google's important. I think the website's important. I think all those things are like almost like kind of like standard not in any business. But I feel like the way that you dress, the way that your hair looks, your business cards, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, like there's so many people that I feel that they lack something that's so basic. At least for us, when we're trying to, which is the reason that we called the company John Bell, is we always wanted the company to seem like,
more significant.
Yeah, more significant, because it's, perception is reality.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, look, if you show up late to meetings and, you're not dressed well
but for the type of it might be obvious to you, but it's not obvious to a lot of people.
I meet a lot of people. I agree with you. I would tell you other things when, you're probably thinking, Alex, why the hell do you want to talk about marketing? It's one of the things I enjoy the most in my business is this part of the business. I spend a lot of my time
and money
thinking about the business and finding new clients. Like, that excites me about the business.
So let's talk about all the things you do, because it's a lot.
We do a lot. And I'm part of a group of managing partners of other law firms, and we spend time talking about how we do what we do. And I share with them what we do, and a lot of people are pretty amazed, but it's because we've been doing it for as long as we have.
You're not amazed at what you guys do? We're going to talk about it, but
it's a lot. It's a lot.
All right, so let's talk about a couple of things. The first thing is we have the Miami Construction Forum.
Correct. That was an invention of my father that turned out great.
I don't think any business that I know has something on a monthly basis that's free to attract clients.
Right.
Like, I was talking to Foz the other day, and I said, I wish we had a big enough office that once a month we can do like a lunch and learn, and we bring a guest speaker, and think about the amount of people that would just traffic to our business. And
correct. So this next Miami Construction Forum, which is next week, we have.
It's this week.
No, it's next week.
No, because we're airing this.
Oh, okay. When this airs, okay.
Yeah.
We have 184 people signed up to attend.
This is a free. You consider this marketing?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not the speaker, by the way. We have other speakers. So this event for June, on June 18th, is going to be 4 of my clients that are going to come and talk about starting, growing, and running their business.
Okay.
The pros and cons. So a lot of people want to see that. So, and then, the next month we have building officials from the city of Miami, Doral, coming and talking about permitting and inspections. And so we created the forum for people to come for free. We buy lunch for everybody, and it's a great way to market and
That's how I met you.
that is how you met me. That was the first time we met.
That was the first time we met. So how do you think somebody can replicate that if it's kind of hard to do that, you know? It's like, how would you think that John Bell Construction can do that?
I would. So again, you look at it today, like when you say, "Wow, I'm never going to be able to do that." He's got 180 some people showing
That's
up.
right, because you told me your dad took like 4 guys to lunch.
That's it. That's it. So 10 years ago, my dad took 4 of his clients, all in construction, out to lunch and said, "Hey, look, you all commit to bring one person to this event, right? And then it'll go from 4 people to 8 people, and then it has slowly grown year over year. I think when we met, there was probably 30 people that would be there, right? So now we'll have 100 and some people attend.
How much time do you think that takes from you?
So we get to do what we do because I have an amazing team. I just want to be clear about that. Like, I'm the guy standing up holding the mic, but it all gets put together because of the team that we have. And it has been a slow, organic growth to get to where
That's what I was going to say. It's at the beginning, nobody was helping your dad,
Correct, because no one needed to. Who needs to help when you're going to get together?
That's good
for
advice
lunch?
there. It's just, you can start.
Start small. So my advice to a lot of people, because there's a handful of young lawyers that have started their firm and they see our firm and they're like, well, how do I get there? Mm-hmm. And the answer is slowly. So get together for lunch with a handful of people and just say, you know what? Every month, the third Wednesday.
What's the purpose of that? What do you think the purpose is?
Again, it's to continue that interaction and the networking. My opinion about getting clients is it's a numbers game. You need to meet a lot of people. If you're not meeting a lot of people, you're not going to get enough work in the door, because you have to have enough people that you cycle through. That, to me, it's a 2-part process. You got to meet a lot of people, and then you have to stay top of mind with the people that you meet.
Yeah, I can understand. I can feel that. Because people say, well, you're doing so much. You have the podcast, you're going to this event, and you're doing that. And then when I'm going to bed, I feel like, man, we are so slow. Like, we're super busy, but what job are we coming up? And I just think, like, what would we do if we didn't do all that?
So my dad's advice, which stays with me, you have to market your business when you are the busiest, because most businesses have a long sales cycle, right? For you to get a job is months, if not years, right? So if you wait until you're slow to say, oh, well, I'm slow now, let me start it's going to take you months. So to keep that happening, to keep that inflow of work, you have to market when you're busy. So when you're busy and you think you don't need to market, that's when you have to market the most to keep that influx of new clients.
Which is now it's a good topic, Alex. I was doubting you on this topic. I actually doubt you. For being my lawyer, I doubt you a lot. But that's how marketing and running the business run hand in hand, because what people don't understand is, think about what you just said. When you are the busiest is when you need to get busier. And that's the hardest part about my job, about, you get burnt out. It's a lot. So it's always a lot. So when you're slow, you're stressed out and you're overwhelmed. And then when you're busy,
you got to work even harder.
You got to work even harder.
Yeah.
It's starting a business is. I always tell Isabella and everybody, if I knew how hard it was, I would never have opened the company.
But it's the most exciting part. Like, could you work for someone else right now?
I don't think anybody would hire me.
Well, that's for sure.
I don't think anybody would.
Okay.
At least I'd get fired.
But can you imagine working for someone else right now?
No, I never imagined myself working for anybody.
Right.
It's and I think people have it. You kind of have it in you. But I love to lead. So people that want to maybe start a business, you got to be a leader.
You have to be willing to work harder than you've ever worked before.
Yeah. So being a leader and working hard is, I enjoy that. There's like and we're very competitive. We play baseball, we play sports whole life. There's a competitive aspect to what we do, which I was talking to Jazz yesterday because we were talking about when do you think we should put our kids in sports? Like, we played baseball. Does that mean that our kids should play baseball? Should he try his own sport? Should we push it? And then we finally, like after 2 hours of talking, I said, listen, whatever we do, he needs to play sports because the competitive nature that we have in sales and networking, it all comes from, I think, from sports.
Yeah, the ability to interact with other people, deal with conflict. It's a great way to learn how to be a good business person and a good business owner.
All right. So we have we have the Miami Construction Forum.
Correct.
So we have a good website. We have a good LinkedIn. We do the podcast.
Yeah. So I would say on all of those, most of them are free. You should claim whatever you can claim. Put the picture up. Fill out the platform. One of the things I would say is don't get overwhelmed. In my opinion, you should pick a social media channel that you like and focus on that.
You believe in social media?
Yeah. I've gotten clients from Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible to think that the act of publishing content on the internet and people find it and then they come to you and they want to hire you. It's great.
We should start a podcast. Maybe we can.
But look, it's overwhelming to think, well, I got to manage Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And so that's why I'm saying start slow.
There's a lot of platforms. Like we use something called Sprout Social. So through Sprout, you actually put in all your login and then you have a calendar and you can post your actual content. You can have you boot and it'll automatically do it for you on all platforms.
I agree with you.
So you don't even think we should even do that?
If you're just starting or you're small,
okay,
that's a lot.
Okay, so we'll go backwards. Then on Instagram, if you post on Instagram as a story and as a reel, it automatically doubles on your Facebook.
Correct.
So that's an easy one.
Yep. But by the way, you have to be able to monitor it too. So when people leave comments or people send you messages, like, is someone there reading that? Because if you just post and no one's looking at it, it's not really doing you any good.
So you think it's important to talk to people, and we always do. We respond to people, even the good ones and the bad ones.
Correct.
Did you see Ron? Did you see the person that gave you a comment yesterday on your video?
I did.
How did that make you feel?
Good, but also like, damn, I saw like.
You saw what he meant?
Mistake. Yeah, of course. The constructive criticism. Yeah, of course. Coloring is a whole beast, so that's.
And his color is actually really good. He was actually. So somebody commented on our page. They said that the reel was oversaturated, too many colors, and I was like,
that's a pretty specific criticism, right?
But I think I was interesting on Ron. Ron's our videographer, produces a lot of stuff for us. I think that's great. That means the algorithm picked that guy up. That guy is not even that guy's not a follower of ours. It's good.
Popped up.
It's good. That means you want that. You have to know that when you do social media and you do podcasts like this, you have to put yourself in a position. You're exposing yourself.
Correct.
Especially us in most industries, but in construction, we are, we're in the middle of Bird Road and 60th Court. We painted our building blue with a podcast and a social media. The door's always unlocked. We're trying to prove a point that we're very accessible in an industry that's meant and are known for contractors who are inaccessible, don't answer the phone. It's kind of our marketing, which is going back to what I was saying. Where does the marketing even start? There is a social media aspect. There's the networking aspect, but there's also like the brand aspect of it. We're always here.
Right.
We want for people to know that we're not hiding. And I think comments like that, I was pretty interested in that comment. And I haven't responded to him because I wanted to talk to you, but I thought about that. I was like, we have to respond to that guy. Because I think Instagram and the algorithms appreciate that dialogue.
Correct.
They frown upon you not responding to that guy.
Yeah, right now engagement is like one of the main things to do. Engage with your comments, engage with the likes, engage with your messages. That's what's picking it up. Like, you can post, be consistent, but right now the algorithm has been reset to engagement. So answering to everyone. It's obviously it's a process, but answering to
And it takes
everyone-
work.
And it takes work.
Yeah.
But answering to everyone it will be beneficial and help.
And I think that some of the comments, again, Instagrams, their algorithms, they're constantly changing. So you kind of have to have a pulse on it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that it gets overwhelming so if you run a business and you're handling the office and HR and you're going to get work and you're actually doing the work, right? That's what I'm saying is I think to some degree that can be overwhelming to a lot of people. I mean, rather than just say, well, I need a marketing staff. I don't think you do. You know, if you pick LinkedIn as your go-to social media, then just focus on that. Don't worry that there's 7 other social media channels.
I know what you mean. I have a tough time doing things like half-ass, to be honest with you. And I feel like you're kind of like.
Let me give you the equivalent, right? You could go to 7 different networking meetings, but you don't. You usually pick one. And that's my advice as well. To the associates in my office, to people that I talk to that are starting, I say, look,
Pick one.
And do it well. So don't go to the XYZ networking association, every third time. You're not going to get work that way. So when we are,
That's good advice.
when I started networking myself, I went to the Associated Builders and Contractors, the ABC, and that's the one I focused on. I went to every meeting. And what you notice is that in January, everyone shows up, right? Everyone's made that New Year's resolution. They're gonna do it. So it was me in a room full of contractors and 3 other lawyers. In February,
2 lawyers.
2 lawyers. By April, I was the only guy there. And then every once in a while, another lawyer would show up.
Yeah, but I agree with you but that's because you're not fighting an algorithm. You're fighting people's laziness. On Instagram and social media.
But my point is, okay, so if Instagram is what you're going to do, then do Instagram.
Okay.
Spend your time on Instagram.
So when do you go to that next one? When do you think that would be the right thing to do it?
It depends on when you have the time, your team has grown, So I have people that help me, right? So, they take, just like Ron for you, right? I've got folks that record the video, post the video, right? But when you start at the beginning, you don't, right?
Yeah.
You're just turning the camera on yourself and you're just recording a video. But that's social media, and that's nice. But there's a lot of other things that we focus on. So again,
Yeah, because the opposite can be that you're doing too many things and you're kind of half-assing it.
correct.
But and that's where I think, listen, you're much older than me. You're much wiser. That's
Well, I've made a lot more mistakes. I've had the time to make more. And
because when you were talking, I was thinking about that. I said I can. When I was at the beginning, I had like House and I had the Google and I had the LinkedIn. And what happened is for 6-7 years, our social media presence was terrible. We're so watered down. It was too much. We're trying to do too much, and what we're doing was nothing.
Right.
If we would have just stuck maybe to, if I were to go back, I'd probably focus on LinkedIn.
Right. No, LinkedIn is one of my only recently has Instagram become more important for our brand. But for me, it was always LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn's is very good to push.
Yeah. I've gotten several large clients from LinkedIn. Like I had no relationship with them except through LinkedIn, and that became the ability to create the relationship. But even still, I still don't think that's the most important thing. We spend a lot of time trying to come up with things that are helpful to our clients that they will not throw away. So actually right here, right?
Okay, we're talking about that.
Yeah.
So wait, so we have all the social things, the Google stuff. You have the Miami Construction Forum. You have the I already mentioned the podcast. So one of the things that I think that you're kind of known for, which I really don't know how you do it. We could talk about why and how much it costs you. Is you send something monthly to all your contractors.
That's amazing. You think it feels monthly. We don't send. We try to send something monthly, but the thing you're thinking about, we send little cars.
Yeah, you send like the randomest things.
Correct. We only try to send those 3 or 4 times a year.
Who taught you that?
Is my father. It was his idea was no one needs another pen, no one needs another mug, right? And you got to give someone something that they're not going to throw away. The best story was, so he came up with the idea of sending model cars, not Matchbox size, they're bigger, right? And
They're all over this office.
correct, yeah. People do not get rid of them. They get very possessive about them. It's amazing, and it's not cheap. I would say between the cost of the car, the box, and the postage, it's about $10 each. Okay, not including, of course, the time to kind of deal with it all, right? But and we send out about 450 every 4 to 5 months. 4 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like I get that every week.
I know you do. That's the amazing thing. Everyone says, "Hey, when are you going to send out the next car in the next month?" And I'm like, "Well, actually, forever we've only been sending it out every 3 or 4 months." Wow. But people keep it. We have clients that have 30 cars.
But I guess it's because sometimes it's not the car. Sometimes then you send somebody else. Like you do like a little puzzle.
Correct.
Some little.
The goal is, it's easy to send something. If it's easy to pick what you're sending the wrong thing. It takes a lot of work for us. So our holiday gifts are also very elaborate. The goal is, how do we make something that someone is not going to get rid of, that when they receive it, it has a perceived value far in excess of what it actually cost us. And then what we've actually identified most recently, which takes a lot of work, is no one wants anything with my name on it. They want something with their name on it. So we have spent a lot of time and effort giving people gifts with their own name on it, which means you're effectively giving a customized gift to everybody, right? But it takes a lot of work. But if I sent you something that said John Bell on it, you're not going to throw it away. If I sent you something that said the liens owner Barthet, you're like, ugh, okay, I guess, maybe. But when it has your name on it, you keep it.
Yeah, yeah.
So like last year, was it last year?
I threw away a couple of things you gave me.
Well, thanks for letting me know. We probably sent too much. So, 1 year we had hard hats custom made.
I haven't thrown that away.
Right. So we had a graffiti artist custom make each hard hat and write in everybody's.
No, I mean, it came with a video on how they made it.
Correct. So I found an artist who was willing to do that. What's that?
That was more than $10.
Yeah. But with the hat and what I paid him was $50. Oh. So I mean, it wasn't tremendous.
I don't think it's also, like you said, it's also the
correct.
It's the brain power. The
takes a lot of work.
That's the hardest thing I think about running the business. Because if right now I was your marketing guy, say, hey, for $50, we're gonna send this, and then the next month you're like, all right, let's do it. And it's more like a money thing. The problem is you're having to think about this when you're also having all the issues of
correct.
Work and in the employees, trying to get new clients, and then on top of that, you're super busy.
Right.
And then we're spending money, and then we're spending time getting this out there, and then people message you and thanking you. It's a ton of work. Like you gotta.
We find that quality is more important than quantity, right? So it's better to, in my opinion, it's better to give things that people will remember you for, rather than sending everyone
like you sent me that little newsletter.
Right.
That's like somebody in another business feels like that's like the
right
that they're going like above and beyond.
Yeah, newsletters for us are we try not to send we don't send email newsletters. My belief is that
Do we start mailing them?
So for a long time we had a physical newsletter that my father wrote. He was a much better writer than I am. So he would write it and he would put it, and we specifically chose not to email it because
It gets lost.
it gets lost. But people,
So do you think I should start mailing out my newsletter?
yeah, it's a lot more expensive, but people will likely read it rather than throw
You know,
it
it's
away.
not even the money that it's finding all these addresses, getting the system in place to
Correct.
market, and it's work.
Yeah, it's a lot more work. Then going to Constant Contact or one of those things, or MailChimp, and just putting some. But think about how many email newsletters do you get in a day that you actually read? My answer is none, 0.
Damn. Okay.
Right? I don't know, I get probably 7 a day, 10 a day from various companies and other lawyers, and I don't have time to read it.
How about we do a video newsletter? We start doing we send a video in an email.
See, the problem is that when someone is looking at their email, almost always they are
Busy?
Exactly. So even if you send me a video,
You're gonna forget to watch it.
I'm in between phone calls. I'm trying to draft a contract, so I'm never going to like look at it then. So what we found is that when you put it in the mail, many of the folks would take it and they would take it home with them, and they would read it.
Throw it away at home.
And they would read it when that's funny.
They get it and then they throw it away at home.
They would read it when they had downtime.
But listen, even if half the people read the newsletter,
Correct.
you get people on the newsletter, which is what I was going back to originally. And it's good. You have to listen. I think we should definitely start with something. Start with the Instagram. Have a good website. Everything that you do should be solid.
Correct.
But as you start going, you'll start realizing that 20% of the people that get the newsletter read it. All the networking events, you can go to networking. You can only talk to maybe like a good networking event. How many people can you really talk to? Like have a real conversation? Maybe 3, 4.
Right.
Like if you're talking to more than 4 or 5 people at a networking,
But what are the chances that the person you're talking to at that networking event needs whatever you're selling at the time you're talking to them?
if somebody that I ever meet at a networking event needs what I'm looking for, it's a massive red flag on their part. Like you need a contractor. I don't know. I think for me in construction, I feel it's a massive red flag that
They need you when you actually meet them.
yeah, there's no such thing as a coincidence in that. I think that that's a bad client for me. It happened to me before. Oh, perfect. Can you send me an email? I have, no, that's weird. You know,
So that's why the follow-up is important. That's why we send the car, the little toy car, every quarter. It's because the likelihood that when someone meets us. So what happens is when I meet somebody, they go into our.
so how does that work? You meet somebody, get a card. Who you giving that to somebody?
Yeah, I give it to one of my admins.
But before you used to save it and
Correct. I would do it all myself.
Okay.
And all the incoming calls, we collect email addresses.
where do you put that? Because I think that's a good.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of different contact managers out there. So pick one and use it.
I think that's such a great advice because so many people go to all these events and have this big stack of cards.
It doesn't do you any good.
Doesn't do
It
any
does
good.
you no good whatsoever, to the extent that you are not following up, because you need to follow up. That's the reality. You have to follow up
Yeah.
because the likelihood that someone needs you when you meet them is close to 0. You just need to keep them. You need to be top of mind to them when they need you. So that's why we try to send something every month. So I have a marketing plan every year. Every month we're sending something. It could be an email. It could be one of the cars. It could be some other mailing. But we want to try to touch our prospects once a month. The idea is
Differently with different things.
different things, always different.
See, like we don't do. I guess we do Instagram and the newsletter, but other than that, we don't really reach out to them any other way.
Right. Well, the newsletters, again, my personal opinion about email newsletters is that I think that they're,
Oh, they suck. I got it.
yeah,
Okay, no, but it's fine. That's why we're here.
right? Yeah.
That's exactly. And there's a lot of people that are probably listening to it. They're like,
Because they've been, in many instances, they've been sold like a package.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say for most people, stop buying the things that people are selling to you for marketing services, and think about how you buy what you buy. Like critically think about how you buy what you buy. Right. Are you buying something because you got a newsletter? No, you're buying something because
You need it.
you need it. Your wife saw it on Instagram. You saw it on Instagram. You met someone at a networking event, right? Like focus on, turn it around and think about, if I was on the receiving end of this.
All right, thank you. If I want to build, a $20 million, $30 million project, how would I hire that person? That takes time. Like I have to really think about that.
Right. Yeah. And what I think you have to realize is that it's a slow process. It takes a lot of time. Most businesses.
It's an art.
It is an art. It is an art. So,
And it's evolving. Do you think has your marketing plan changed in the last 10 years?
oh, for sure.
This right now, right? You were never posting on Instagram.
And now we're posting on Instagram twice a week. And I had a client. Someone emailed me yesterday from one of the posts, said, I saw your post. I'd like you to help me with my contracts. So
That's it.
it's great.
That one reel paid. That's it. Like
That's
3
it.
years of the social media person. That's
There you go. So, but we do a lot more.
That's how
So-
I see it too. Like you just sell this. How much did it cost you? Again, everybody's profit is different. But like the podcast, how much it takes so much work.
Yes.
But we have Patrick Murphy's coming here.
Right.
That's one example. But you have one good pod. You have one good. It paid for the whole it paid for the 3 years worth of it.
Yes. But I guess my point is, so for example, I stopped going to networking events because we have now grown the Miami Construction Forum to the point
That you're the networking event.
that exactly right.
You're above us. No, I get it.
So that's what I'm saying is that it's better to focus on the things that work than try to shotgun everything.
No, but I see. You don't see like the leaders of ABC going to the LBA, and you don't see like that's but you may not have that. So if you have one, just try to go to one.
Right. Yeah. Focus on what works.
And if you have partners like with Jazz, Jazz focuses on the Miami, the Greater Miami Chamber. I focus a lot with maybe the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Sorry, Foz does a lot of the LBA. So try to divide and conquer it so you can really.
If you have partners.
Yeah, if you have partners. No, but I feel like everybody nowadays has a partner.
So, this little thing here, this was, my son is now graduated with a marketing degree, and now he brings in a fresh new perspective, right?
He's doing a great job. I think you should give him a raise, by the way.
I hope he's not listening to this. So he said, you know what? Why don't we get some 3D printers and we will 3D print construction pieces of equipment, which people will love. And they will keep, you get to build them and then you keep them on your desk and it has our logo, it has our phone number, and it's turned out great.
I think it's crazy.
It is. I never would have thought of this.
So this is made on a what is it?
So the brand name of the printer is called Bamboo. So it's a Bamboo 3D printer, and it prints it like a little kit card. So then it has our logo on the card, and it comes with instructions. And we write a little article about. We try to write an article about the piece of equipment in some legal context. So we put that in the package, and then we hand out about 100, 200 a month.
Wow.
So people get it, they get to build it, and then they keep it. Because again, the idea.
Is this replacing the cars, by the way?
No. We will not replace the cars.
Okay. Because Jack was.
Jack is going to get the cars, and
that's why Jack loves you, right?
I do.
Because I used to throw away the cars. So now that I have a son, I said, oh,
there you go.
hey, Jack, Alex bought you and he didn't know who Alex was until one day,
I showed up. And
So that's why he likes you more than Mo.
That's good.
Because you give him cars every 4 months.
So, my message is don't do what's easy, because what's easy is what everyone else is doing. So it's not setting you apart from anybody else. So what you have to do is you have to do what's harder that causes people to remember you. And that is what's going to cause them to think about you when they need you.
Interesting. You think they almost feel not bad for you, but do you feel like there's like this
What, an obligation?
almost like even with this podcast, or you do it, like people were like, oh wow, that's, you know, it's crazy what you're doing, like you're doing this and you're doing that, like they are overwhelmed,
Right.
and since they are so overwhelmed and you're doing it and you're kind of like making it look easy, there's like this, again, it goes back to the brand, you know. I'm big into like the brand, you know, especially when you're starting off. You don't have money to spend on marketing.
Correct.
The easiest thing you can do is yourself, you know, just the way you look, the way you talk, the way that you respond to people in your email.
Look, there's a guy that I don't know how it showed up on my Instagram. He mows lawns. Have you seen this guy?
Yeah, AB Landscaping or something.
I don't know
He
what
knocks
it
on the
is.
people and says, "Oh, I want to do your thing for free."
Yeah. So he goes to all these people that have overgrown lawns, and then he mows their lawn. And he's a guy, by the way. Like, if you actually look him up, it's not like this conglomerate.
Yeah, it's a guy.
It's a guy.
Yeah.
And you look at his reels, and he's got 200,000 views. It's incredible. So to think that you can't do something with all of the tools that are available, I think is selling yourself short. But my message is, you got to focus. Don't try. It's so easy to get overwhelmed when you look at people that are successful and they're doing 10 different things, and you think, I got to do those 10 things. It's just, you don't even know where to start. Start small. Change that Hotmail address. Get a domain. Get at bare minimum a website. Grab your Google My Business profile so people can start leaving reviews. Ask people to leave reviews. I ask people all the time to leave reviews. We have 100 and some reviews. But it's because we do work, and then I ask people, I said, well, if you're happy with us, please leave a review. And most people do, and it's nice. It's nice to get those reviews. And then think about ways to give things to people that will stay with them so they remember you when they need you.
Can you leave me a review?
I think I already did.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I did. I know you left me a review.
Really?
You did. You did. You may want to go check it. Maybe you want to update it.
I wonder what that says. And I also feel like it needs to be, and you can correct me wrong, I feel like everything that we do in marketing has to be intentional. Do you feel like a lot of stuff you do is all intentional?
You mean what we send out?
No, not even sent out. Like that is everything that we do, from, you know, let's say you have your 3D printing, you have the newsletter, you have the construction forum, the podcast. We have our, you know, we do social media, we have our own podcast. We have, you know, go to networking events, or we have different associations specifically. I feel like whatever that the person does, and we weren't doing that at the beginning, I still think we can do it better. I feel like it needs to be with greater intention. And I think even our social media can probably get better, because we have but maybe that's why we're doing it. But I'm going to give you an example. You see some of our videos, some of them are like, they're funny, you know, some they're stupid. Like,
Right.
What's the purpose of that reel? Like, we have a video that just went viral of me clapping.
I saw that one. Yeah.
You know, it's the first one that hits 1 million. What was the purpose of that reel? Like, how did that reel benefit John Bell Construction? Do you think we're gonna land work about that? Did you see that comment? Did you read that comment? I don't think somebody commented and said, you know, it's funny. It's a funny video, good concept. I just don't think that it makes your business look good. That was a comment on it. We have like 700 comments or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like Dave commented on it.
Right. Yeah. That's a lot of comments.
Yeah, and it has like 20,000 likes. So, but I read them. I've read every single one, you know, and that's one of them. And I even told Ron, like, when we're doing these videos, what's the purpose of the video? Like, is the 55, 60-year-old, you know, millionaire investor gonna say, that's a funny video, I want to hire that guy?
Right.
I don't know. But maybe he enjoys this podcast. Maybe the person that I met at a networking event does that. Maybe the other person likes the newsletter. So that's why I like the diversification, because maybe we're not trying to get our client from our Instagram. People say, oh, they say all the time, well, how do these videos, help your business? I don't know. We just won best place to work. So maybe people like being in the videos. Maybe people in our because now the people that are 35 years old might not be our client, and those are the people who think they're funny. But when in 20 years from now, they're going to continue to remember
Correct.
the other things. So we do that intentionally. Sometimes I wish it was a little bit more intentional, but I've been thinking about that. I'm like, what's the true intention behind this video? Who are we trying to, because we didn't post that video on LinkedIn.
Right. Probably not appropriate for LinkedIn.
So I think that's a good advice too for people. And even I would take it. I wish I would take all my advice. It's try to be intentional with what you're really doing. And not every single thing you have to do is not gonna get to the, it's only gonna get to maybe one group of people. Marketing it's a lot of work. It's expensive.
Yes.
There's people there's some people that don't, they don't listen to podcasts. They don't.
Correct. No, it's funny. One of my clients I got from Twitter, and he doesn't use any other social media. So if I didn't post to Twitter, he never would have found me. And I was thinking, who the hell's on Twitter? But
Don't sell yourself short.
I guess, right? So, but, I would say what's important is the idea that you got to do something. When I talk to people and they say, well, I just get all my business from referrals, to me, that is someone that is never going to be able to grow. Because you can't get that many referrals if you're not actively doing other things.
Yeah, how do you get in those referrals?
Yeah, I mean, so lawyers especially think that, well, if I do good work, then my clients will talk to other people. And yes, you can get work that way, but you're always going to stay relatively small. You got to do more to be able to get more.
I get it. Because I don't think that I would hire, I'm not going to, especially it's hard to recommend people in Miami too.
Yes.
So that's another thing. I was like, people little by little, somebody might not recommend you. Mm-hmm. You might be, God's greatest gift to earth and be the best lawyer, but maybe they'd be like, you know what? I don't feel like having to recommend them. Just say, hey, I don't really have anybody. So that referral business, especially in Miami, doesn't really work that well sometimes because in construction, I don't refer anybody. Like they call us and they'll say, hey, do you recommend anybody? Nobody. Zero. You can't recommend anybody in this industry.
Because it's
so nobody recommend. Really, very few people recommend us.
Right.
They'll give us a good referral. If they ask, let a recommendation, they'll vouch for us.
Right.
But like, hey, who do you think? It happens all the time. And sometimes I call people out. I said, brother, I found out that guy had, asked you for a contractor. You didn't give. No, I know. I didn't think about you. No, he thought about me. He just didn't know if it was worth,
sticking his neck out.
Yeah. But it was through all the other things. It was through other events that had gone to that person actually reached out to me. But he had originally had asked somebody months before if they knew somebody. And this guy should have recommended me, and he didn't, which I called him out on. So that's why it's important to be out.
Exactly. That's why that's why it's a numbers game.
I thought it was bullshit, by the way.
Are you over it?
No.
Clearly.
No, I'm not over it. Because it goes back to my brand. I've been thinking about it. Like, why didn't that guy? And that's where obsession beats talent any day. And there's a marketing thing and all that, but the marketing and the business, lane interchange for me, daily.
Right.
All day. It's just like we're going to marketing, but it's business, marketing and business. And then I just, when I was thinking about that, I go, did I fail on the marketing side or did I fail like on the business side? Did I fail on the relationship side? I'm super critical about that because I found out about that one, but how many more are we maybe not finding out about?
Probably a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
But maybe we sell them some cars and some things to build. Maybe they would have called me. I think I'm going to try mailing the newsletter. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, actually.
That's the other thing, is that none of these things make a difference next month or the month after. They make a difference 12 and 18 months from now.
What do you think I should do? Tell me one thing that do you think that we should change. Not change, but add to our to something that we're doing.
What do you send out as Christmas gifts?
We don't we give like $17 bottle of wine.
No, to your clients and
That we don't give a good Christmas gift.
yeah, you need to give a gift. You need to give a gift that causes them to think about you and remember you while
Can I tell you why I don't do
valuing
it?
them.
Can I tell you why I don't do it?
Why?
Because what are the chances? Maybe it's bad. Because maybe that would have been a referral. You can't think of it maybe as him, but what are the chances that the person is going to really hire you again in construction?
You have no idea.
Yeah, I guess you never know.
You never know.
But most of our clients, they're like one every. Our sales cycle is maybe 3 years, 4 years.
Right.
So if we're still in it with our client, that client, unless I guess also our size. I think as we grow bigger, our clients would have more money. They're not give them a gift every week. But what are the reason I haven't done it is because I said I don't think that this client is really going to ever hire us again.
I think you're being short-sighted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Add that to your list.
yeah, I'm going to add it to my list. Hopefully, people are adding it to their list as well.
A good.
I was looking actually for more things to do.
Look, a non-consumable. So this is important. A non-consumable holiday gift.
Huh.
Right? If you give them a basket, like the answer isn't, well, let me send them a bigger basket or let me send them
A more expensive wine.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Is it's very transitory, right? The question is, can you give them something that stays with them and causes them to remember you in the process? And I agree with you. It's work. It is. We think about our holiday gift a year in advance.
That's what I was going to ask you. We're already in June. Do you think I should already be thinking about that?
100%. Not to make you.
Oh, that's right. You already told me about that the other day.
We physically have already purchased our holiday gifts this year. They are sitting in my office, and we are.
What is it?
I'm not going to tell you. And we are going to laser engrave everybody's company logo on the gift. So I bought a laser engraver. So again, I guarantee it is a lot of work. And I'm not saying you have to do this all the time when you're small, but we're at a point where, we have the resources to do it. So we're laser engraving on the gift everyone's company name and logo. And we're starting that process.
What about
actually this month?
I know we talked about when you're busy, that's when you're supposed to
Market the most.
market the most. Because I feel like a lot of people, especially when they're starting off, or even small or medium-sized businesses, they kind of get overwhelmed too. Like they kind of almost maybe don't want to.
Yeah, that's a business decision to make. Yeah. The problem is,
Don't regret it.
yeah, right. And, even they get slow, right? Now, maybe they have the ability where they have a shorter sales cycle. It takes less work to keep them busy. But, for me, I've got 11 lawyers that work for me.
I hear our wives out there, by the way.
Yeah, I think we were going to have to hurry up. And
No, that's fine. You should tell them to come in.
we, so I have to keep getting enough work to keep them busy.
But listen, there's a lot of things that people can do. Definitely being consistent, being solid in what you can control from your website, from your domain. If you have a social media, try to stick to one. And when you've maybe dominated it, go to the second one.
Next one, correct.
There's a lot of platforms like Instagram that allow you to go, that you can post on different things. I personally think that people should do a lot of different things and be different.
Try what works.
Figure
Figure out what works.
But also give it a shot, because sometimes it takes a long time. Create a marketing plan. Try to give gifts
Yeah,
that you can drink or eat.
correct.
And what do you think is the last one? What do you think is the most important thing in marketing?
Be yourself. Be yourself. Except for you.
So yeah, I should be myself. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed our episode. If you have any questions about marketing, tips, or anything you want from us, let us know. And if you need a construction attorney, visit the Lean Zone. And we appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you in the next one.